Hello everyone. So now we are going to start the next topic of chapter number 5, natural vegetation and wildlife, from geography of class 9th. So here we are going to study about the types of vegetation. Now we have different 5 major types of vegetations found in our country, that is tropical evergreen forests, tropical deciduous forests, and tropical thorn forests and scrubs, montane forests and mangrove forests. So let us see one by one each of them. Tropical evergreen forests, as the name is suggesting itself. First of all, we have to understand tropical. Tropical means the region between two tropics, Tropic of Cancer and Tropic of Capricorn. Evergreen means which remains green throughout the year. Forests means the natural vegetation cover with high density. So tropical evergreen forests are restricted to heavy rainfall areas of the Western Ghats and island groups of the Lakshadweep, Andaman and Nicobar, upper parts of Assam and Tamil Nadu coast. So in the previous video we have gone through some factors behind that, so you have to relate those factors behind these reasons. They are at the best in areas having more than 200 centimeter of rainfall with a short dry season. Means that is not so much important, that dry season. Means these areas receive the rainfall more than 200 centimeter, and these trees reach up to 60 meters of height or even above. Height of these trees in these regions reach up to 60 meters. As you can see this image also, that these are the trees which are found at 60 meters. So why these trees are so high and why these trees are very small in height? The reason behind this is the factors which we have studied in the previous video, like photoperiod, like precipitation, soil and land, temperature. These are the important factors behind the growth of different types of vegetations. So let's study in detail the different types of vegetations. So tropical evergreen forests receive 200 centimeter rainfall on an average. They can reach up to 60 meters of height and they are found in these regions. So these are the 3 important points you can write in your 3-mark questions. Now since this region is warm and wet throughout the year, it has a luxuriant vegetation of all kinds, like trees, shrubs and creepers giving it a multi-layered structure. You can see this image that this is the 1.5 meter height. Some plants are there. Now shrubs layer up to 5 meters. Then you can see young trees up to the height of 10 to 15 meters. Then you can see 20 meters height trees And now this is the layer of the canopy of the forest. Now it is up to 40 meters height, and these are the emigrant layers, and this maximum height of this forest goes up to 60 meters. So in this way, the characteristics of evergreen forest, tropical evergreen forests, is very clear to write for 3 or 5 mark questions. Now there is no definite time for trees to shed their leaves. As the name is suggesting itself, evergreen forests means which remains green throughout the year. There is no definite particular period for shedding the leaves in these forests. Means some trees shed their leaves in some days and another trees shed their leaves in some different period of time. As such, these forests appear green all the year round. Means you cannot see these forests bare or without leaves, because they do not shed their leaves altogether, and there is no distinct or definite time period for shedding their leaves. So this is the map of natural vegetation of our country. You can see the dark green color for tropical evergreen forests and the tropical deciduous forests. The most area is covered by tropical deciduous forests. The highest proportion of the forest is under tropical deciduous forests. Now let's study the different forms one by one. For tropical evergreen forests, some of the commercially important trees of these forests are ebony, mahogany, rosewood, rubber and cinchona. So for 3 marks questions, the upper part was enough. If the question comes for 5 marks, that you have to define tropical evergreen forest for 5 marks, so you have to remember such kinds of trees which are found in tropical evergreen forest. Those are ebony, mahogany and rosewood, rubber and cinchona. And the common animals, the 5th point, you can write the names of some animals. And like elephant, monkey, lemur and deer. So you have seen all such animals in some videos on TV or internet, I hope. So one-horned rhinoceros are found in the jungles of Assam and West Bengal. So you know, you have studied in your previous classes also. So besides these animals, plenty of birds, bats, sloths, scorpions and small snails are also found in these jungles. So this para is devoted to the animal life, and this is for the varieties of the trees, and the above paragraph was regarding the major characteristics of the tropical evergreen forests. So now the second type of forests are tropical deciduous forests. Means these are found between the tropics, but these are not evergreen. Sometimes they shed their leaves, or the amount of rainfall is not above 200 centimeter, that is below 200 centimeter or up to 70 centimeters. So majorly we have divided this tropical deciduous forests into 2 major parts, that is moist deciduous, which receives the rainfall between 200 and 100 centimeter, and these forests exist mostly in the eastern parts of the country and northeastern states along with the foothills of Himalayas. Jharkhand, West Odisha, Chhattisgarh, and on the eastern slopes of the western Ghats. So these are the regions where you can find moist deciduous forests. The very common factor to understand this grade by grade or step by step, that is slightly rainfall is decreasing, means in evergreen forests the rainfall was above 200 degrees 200 centimeter, and one step lower the tropical deciduous forests, moist deciduous forest has the rainfall below 200 but above 100 centimeter. Some regions also are given here. So teak is the most dominant species of this forest. Bamboos, sal, sesam, sandalwood, khair, kusum, arjun and mulberry are the other commercially important species. So you have to remember all such points for the answer of the question, which you have to write on moist tropical deciduous forests. Then after, the second part of the tropical deciduous forest is the dry deciduous forest, where the rainfall is 100 to 70 centimeter. These forests are found in rainier parts of the peninsular plateau, means peninsular plateau and the plains of Bihar and Uttar Pradesh. There are open stretches in which teak, sal, peepal and neem grow. So these are the types of plants which you can find in dry deciduous forests. A large part of this region has been cleared for cultivation and some parts are used for grazing. As I have mentioned in the previous video also, that due to urbanization and different increasing needs of our increasing population, we are doing deforestation, and most of the deforestation is done in dry deciduous forests, because it is easier to deforest these forests in comparison to evergreen forests, because here the vegetation is very less. Easily we can clear the forests and we can have the land for cultivation as well as for settlements. So in these forests, the common animals found: lion, tiger, pig, deer and elephants. A huge variety of birds, lizards, snakes and tortoises are also found here. So these are the plant life and animal life of the dry deciduous forests. So generally one question may ask you that distinguish between tropical deciduous forests and moist deciduous forests and dry deciduous forests. So you have to distinguish both the deciduous forests in the form of rainfall, in the form of regions, in the form of plants, in the form of animal life. Okay, so now the next form of the forests is the thorn forests and the scrubs. In regions with the rainfall less than 70 centimeter. Now you can see that step by step decreasing of the amount of rainfall is the most important factor to determine the varieties of the forests. Evergreen forests has above 200 degrees Celsius, moist deciduous 200 to 100, dry deciduous from 100 to 70, and now thorn forests below 70. So it is very easy to learn and to distinguish different types of forests also. So on the basis of the rainfall, this is less than 70 centimeter of rainfall. The forests are thorn forests. The natural vegetation consists of thorny trees and bushes, and these forests are generally found in semi-arid areas of Gujarat, Rajasthan, Madhya Pradesh, Chhattisgarh, Uttar Pradesh, and Haryana. These are the regions where you can find these thorn forests. Have you visited Jaisalmer or any parts of desert region of Rajasthan or Gujarat? You see the trees very far away from each other. Only small shrubs and bushes you see everywhere, and some thorny bushes are there like cactus, acacia. Acacia plants which has long thorns. Cacti are the main plant species which are found in those thorn forests. The trees are scattered and have long roots penetrating deep into the soil in order to get moisture. This line is very important to understand that why the roots are very deep penetrating in the soil in deserts or in thorn forests, because moisture is less in the soil. To get the water or to get the moisture, the plants have adopted such kind of condition that they find the water in the soil to the depth, and the roots go into the deep to find the moisture, because in the upper layer of the soil moisture is very less. So definitely if the tree wants to survive, it has to find the water, and it will be there in the depth of the soil. So that's why roots of the plants in these regions penetrate deep into the soil. Now the stems are succulent to conserve water, means they are pulpy, means they are very soft, not hard, and they store some water in the stem itself, because in the surroundings water is very less. To survive, some vegetation have adopted this characteristic in themselves, that they conserve some water in their stem itself. So leaves are mostly thick and small to minimize evaporation. You have to understand one concept, that the size of the leaf is very small in the thorn forests. Have you seen the size of the leaf of cacti or the acacia or the kikar? Very small. Only one rice size is the size of the leaf of kikar, and the size of the leaf of banana tree is a huge size, because it is grown in the regions where enough water is there. So size of the leaf describes the climatic conditions as well as the relief conditions. So in thorn forests the size of the leaf is very small, and naturally it has adopted this function to minimize the evaporation. The larger the size of the leaf, the more the evaporation happens. The smaller the size of the leaf, less evapotranspiration happens. So this is due to that reason. So these forests give way to the thorn forests and scrubs in arid areas. In these forests, the common animals are rats, mice, rabbits, fox, wolf, tiger, a lion and wild ass, horses and camels. You know, camels are called ships of the deserts because they can survive in hot, arid, dry conditions. They can survive more than 15 days or more even without water because they drink water altogether and they store in their separate stomach. So you can see figure number 5.5. This is the scene of a thorn forest, and you can see the figure number 5.4, that is tropical deciduous forests. So by observing these two images, you can distinguish between these two, that amount of moisture is decreasing from 5.4 to 5.5. And if you see the image of the previous type of forest, oh my god, this is the difference. You can easily understand that here the huge amount of vegetation is there because of the high rainfall, fertile soil, more duration for photoperiod and higher temperatures, where temperatures are higher here in 5.5 but moisture is very less and no rainfall, very less rainfall is received here. So that's why less vegetation is found there. Here the tropical deciduous forest, the moderate rainfall, moderate temperatures, and that's why moderate type of vegetations are found there. So the another type of vegetation is montane forests. Montane forest means the forests which are found in mountains or mountainous areas. The decrease in temperature with increasing altitude leads to the corresponding change in the natural vegetation. I explained this thing earlier also. Means with the increase in height, the temperature decreases. This factor leads to the different types of vegetation found over different altitudes. There is a succession of natural vegetation belts in the same order as we see from the tropical to the tundra region. The wet temperate type of forests are found between a height of 1000 and 2000 meters. Now, evergreen broad leaf trees such as oaks and chestnuts, and these are predominant between 1500 and 3000 meters. The temperate forests containing coniferous trees like pine, deodar, silver fir and spruce and kedar are found. You see that height is increasing. First of all, we have discussed on the ground, then from 1000 to 2000 meters, and then we are increasing in altitude in meters, that is 1500 to 3000 meters. So as we are increasing in altitude, the different types of vegetations are found at different heights. So these forests cover mostly the southern slopes of the Himalayas. Why southern slopes of the Himalayas? Because southern slopes of the Himalayas experience the sunlight. When earth rotates from west to east, the sun rises from the east and the southern slopes of the Himalayas experience the sunlight, while the northern slopes of the Himalayas do not experience the sunlight. That's why these mountain forests are found on the southern slopes of the Himalayan mountains. Okay, so at higher elevations, grasslands are common, means as well as height is increasing, the amount of vegetation is also decreasing because temperature is decreasing. So rainfall is decreasing. No. So at the altitude or the high altitudes, more than 3000 or 600 meters, temperate forests and grasslands give way to the alpine vegetation, and those are very common in silver fir and junipers, pines and birches. And after that they get progressively stunted as they approach the snow line. Means as we reach the snow line is the area where from snow starts, and we do not experience any vegetation above that line because that area is totally covered by snow there. So through shrubs and scrubs they merge into the alpine grasslands, where these are used extremely for grazing by nomadic tribes. Nomadic tribes means which move from one place to another with their flocks, with their rearing animals like the gujars and bakarwals. At higher altitudes, mosses and lichens form part of the tundra vegetation. You know, tundra vegetation is that type of vegetation which is found in very higher altitudes, and these vegetations are like mosses and lichens. The common animals found in these forests are Kashmir stag, means a deer, spotted deer, wild sheep, jack rabbit, Tibetan antelope, yak. You have seen yak, wifo yak. Okay, snow leopard and squirrels, shaggy horn, wild ibex, bear and rare red panda, sheep and goats with thick hair. So which can survive in the severe cold. That's why they have thick fur or thick layer of hair. So here in this sense we can understand the mountain forests. So we can easily write 1 mark, 3 mark and 5 mark questions out of this content. You have to remember most important 5 points. So the last one is mangrove forest. That is very unique. The mangrove or tidal forests are found in the areas of coasts influenced by tides. Tides are, you know, that high tides and low tides in the seas happen twice a day. Level of the sea rises and goes down, and due to that high amount of water, the soil is swampy and marshy land. Due to mud and silt get accumulated on such coasts, dense mangroves are the common varieties with roots of the plants submerged underwater. You can see in this image that these roots are filled with silt and mud. When low tide happens, that water goes back in the sea. Then high tide happens, the water comes in the roots. So these are the roots which are blank. So you can see here, see, dense mangroves are the common varieties with roots of the plants submerged under the water. Means roots are submerged under the water because due to the high tide and low tide, this mud and soil is eroded from here. So roots are submerged under the water. So the deltas of the Ganga, now you are going to see where they are found. They are found in deltas of Ganga and Mahanadi, the Krishna and the Godavari and the Kaveri. These are the major areas where you find the mangrove forests or the tidal forests. In the Ganga Brahmaputra delta, Sundari trees are found there, which provide durable and hard timber that used in furniture. That quality of the wood is very hard and durable. Palm, coconut, and keora and agar, these are the types of trees which are found in mangrove forests, and they grow in some parts of other deltas also. Now if you talk about the animal life, so which type of animal life is found in these forests? Royal Bengal tiger is the famous animal in these forests. You have heard about Royal Bengal tiger, which is the national animal of our country. And some turtles, crocodiles, ghadials, that is also the one species of the crocodile family. There is a difference between ghadial and crocodile. You can see with the help of their face, the eyes are outside their bodies in gharials, while the eyes of the crocodiles are covered in the bodies of crocodiles. So the nose is very thin and long. So this is the difference between crocodiles and gharials. And snakes are also found in these forests. So these are the different types of wildlife which you can see in mangrove forests. So in this way you have covered these different types of forests here. Now which the last topic is there about the medicinal plants. So you can see different plants are there, like jamun, arjun, babul, neem, tulsi, and kachnar, and sarpangdha. These are the different plants which you can study for medicinal uses. Okay, so the source is also given here from Medicinal Plants by Dr. S.K. Jain, 5th edition of 1994 National Book Trust of India ne those have published there. Now the another important last topic is the wildlife. Also we have discussed different types of wildlife through the vegetation and different types of forests, but here let's see the wildlife in the different manner. Like its flora, India is also rich in its fauna. It has approximately 90,000 animal species. The country has about 2,000 species of birds. They constitute 13%. This is the 1 mark question, important. The birds, 2,000 species of the birds constitute 13% of the world's total. India is very rich in type of bird life. There are 2,546 species of fish, which account for nearly 12% of the world's stock. It also shares between 5 to 8% of the world's amphibians, reptiles, and mammals. So these are the basic data about the animal life and its biodiversity. Now we have to see that elephants are the most majestic animals, very beautiful, very attracting. We love elephants. Among the mammals, they are found in the hot wet forests of Assam, Karnataka, and Kerala. So one by one, if you can see that animals are found in these regions in these conditions. One horned rhinoceros, that is also found in Assam in Kaziranga National Park. So rhinoceros are the other animals which live in swampy and marshy lands of Assam and West Bengal also. Now arid areas of the Run of Kutch, Gujarat, and the Thar desert of Rajasthan are the habitat means the residence, habitat for the wild ass and the camels. Thar desert is known for camels and Run of Kutch is known for wild ass. Indian bison, Nilgai, blue bull, which you know that Nilgai, Roj in your local language, and Chausinga, four-horned antelope, gazelle, and different species of deer are some other animals found in India. It also has several species of monkeys. So you can understand that if these much forests we have in our country, definitely we will have different varieties of wildlife, no doubt. So India is the only country in the world that has both tigers and lions. It is the most important line of this chapter, that India has both the species tigers as well as lions, and India is the only country in the world. It is very strange and unique itself. Now the natural habitat of the Indian lion is the Gir forest in Gujarat. Lion lives in Gir forests of Gujarat, and tigers are found in the forests of Madhya Pradesh, Sundarbans of West Bengal and the Himalayan region. Leopards too are the members of the cat family. They are important among animals of prey. They depend on some prey. And leopards are the family members of the cats, and Royal Bengal tigers are the animals which are found in Madhya Pradesh, Sundarbans and West Bengal. So here you can see how beautiful and majestic they are, lions. The Himalayas harbor a hardy range of animals which survive in extreme cold. Himalayas have a great variety of forests also, and severe cold is also there. So that's why a very few species of animals can survive there. Like Ladakh's freezing high altitudes are a home to yak and shaggy horned wild ox weighing around 1 ton, 1000 kgs of weight of one horned wild ox is found in Ladakh region. The Tibetan antelope, the blue sheep, bharal, wild sheep, and the kyang. These are the local names of those animals which are found in Ladakh region or the Himalayan region. Furthermore, the ibex, bear, snow leopard and the rare red panda are found in some certain pockets of the Himalayas. Now in the rivers and lakes, the coastal areas, turtles, crocodiles, ghadials are also found. So now you are given a picture of India where different types of animals are found in different pockets, different corners of the country. Now this map is given for your better understanding about the wildlife reserves. These are the locations of the Chingam, Rajaji, Corbett, Dudhwa, and this is Ghana, and these are Shivpuri, these are Raigir and Simlipal, Manas, Kaziranga, and this is Gorumara. These are the national parks. These blue triangles are national parks. These red dots are wildlife sanctuaries, and these star dotted places are bird sanctuaries. Like Sariska is a wildlife sanctuary, and these are the stars, these are the bird sanctuaries. So you have to remember, you have to just go through this map, and after that you have to see the last phase of this chapter, that is about bird life in India is very colorful. Now you are going to see about some species of peacocks and pheasants, ducks, parakeets, cranes, and pigeons are some of the birds inhabiting the forests and wetlands of the country. We have selected our crops from a biodiverse environment, from the reserves of edible plants. Edible plants means rice, pulses, or wheat. These all are the edible plants. We eat those plants. We also experimented and selected many medicinal plants. The animals were selected from large stock provided by nature as milch animals, which provide us milk. Those animals are called milch animals. So we have selected buffaloes, cows, we have selected neem, tulsi, kikar, babool, all for our purposes. We have selected rice, pulses, maize. We have selected some fruits for our livelihood, for our survival. They also provide us drought power, transportation, meat, and eggs. The fish also provide nutritive food to us. So in coastal regions, people do not eat wheat. They usually eat rice and fish. So many insects help in pollination of crops and fruits, trees, and exerting biological control on such insects is very harmful. Every species has a role to play in the ecosystem. You know, every ecosystem, small to small and large to large, has its own role, and they play their roles in our environment. On every species has its own role to play in the ecosystem. Hence, the conservation is very essential. Means different varieties of life forms we have to conserve. Like we have a limited number of lions. Earlier we had a great number of lions and tigers, but during the period of colonial time, the people and government employees or the emperors or the kings started hunting them. Slowly, the number of these animals came down, and they are near about to extinction. Some species of the animals and plants are endangered, and almost one of them or some of them have been extinct. But some are very rare and some are very common. Generally, they are found everywhere. So we have to conserve all the species of plants as well as animals, because they are important for the ecosystem, for livelihood of the human beings, no doubt, but for the survival of the ecosystem they are important. They have their different and unique role to play. So about 1300 plant species are endangered and 20 species are extinct. Quite a few animal species are also endangered and some have become already extinct. The main cause for their major threat to nature are hunting by greedy hunters for commercial purposes, pollution due to the chemical and industrial wastes, acid deposits, introduction of alien species, and reckless cutting of the trees or deforestation to bring land under cultivation and habitation are these. This is the very important paragraph, that why we need to conserve the plants and animals. because human beings are very greedy. To meet their greeds, they emit pollution, they use all those species of plants and animals commercially, they do industrial wastes, chemical waste, acid waste, and different types of cultivation they do, and they deforest for more land for habitation as well as cultivation or for industrialization, urbanization. All these reasons are responsible enough to see the importance of all the species of plants and animals and for their conservation. Now, we have to see that to protect the flora and fauna of the country, the government has taken many steps. Is not it? Government has not taken any step. No, government has taken. What the steps have been taken by the government is the question for 1 mark, 3 mark and 5 mark maybe. That government has taken very important steps regarding 18 biosphere reserves have been set up in our country to protect flora and fauna. 10 out of these are the names of those biosphere reserves. These are the names which you can see here. These are the names: Sundarbans, Gulf of Mannar, Nilgiri, Nanda Devi, Nokrek, Great Nicobar, Manas, Simlipal, Dihang Dabang, Dibru, Saikoda, and Agastyan Malal, and Kanchenjunga, and this is Kangching Zonga, and Panchmarhi, and Achanak Mar Amarkantak. These are the 18 biosphere reserves. Out of these 18, these are the 10 which are very important in the world network of biosphere reserves. Means those are internationally connected. This is the very important step regarding the conservation of biodiversity. Now you see that financial and technical assistance is also provided to many botanical gardens by the government since 1992. Kutch is also cold desert of Ladakh, and Sengchalam and Panna. These are the areas which are given financial supports by the government. Project Tiger, Project Rhino, Project Great Indian Bustard, and many other eco-developmental projects have been introduced by Government of India to conserve biodiversity. 103 national parks, 535 wildlife sanctuaries and zoological gardens are set up to take care of the natural heritage. I hope you have visited some of the national parks or wildlife sanctuary or the bird sanctuary. Nearby, Bharatpur is the bird sanctuary there. You can visit there. In Delhi, many bird sanctuaries and wildlife sanctuaries are there. You can visit there. So all of us must realize the importance of the natural ecosystems. Those are very important for our own survival as well as for the survival of different species of flora as well as fauna. So it is very important, and it is possible if indiscriminate destruction of natural environment is put to an end immediately. If we take care of all such things, we can save our environment. So in such a way, the whole chapter is completed in these 2 videos. I hope you have understood well, and you have liked, you have gone through each and every concept in detail. If you have any queries and any doubts, you can give me your comments in the comment box. Thank you and take care.